Ladies and gentlemen, I'm RichTheMan, comforter, philosopher and lifelong shit. It is Friday the 17th of August 2018. Hopefully you've had a lovely week. It's the weekend, I've got that Friday feeling. And let's top off the week with a Marvel Contest of Champions news. Let's roll the intro titles. Yeah, it's good to be delivering a Marvel Contest of Champions news to you. Sometimes it's a load of stories, sometimes there's not so many. I don't know if that's ever a good thing or a bad thing, but let's keep you informed and up to date. In the last 24 hours, some stuff has gone down from Heimdall right the way through to AQ problems and getting a summoner appreciation. Let's get into and kick off Marvel Contest of Champions news. Oh, and make sure you subscribe to the channel for more news. Most players were seeing this where they could only spectate, which, as we know, incredibly disappointing and frustrating when something like this happens. This was picked up by Kabam fairly quickly and it was looked into by the game team. Now this error seemed to be very unique and at the same time very slim to a certain amount in summoner amount that actually play the game. It took a good chunk of today for this issue to be resolved. So by now, hopefully people have been able to enter into Alliance Quest, but from Kabam's perspective, it's a little bit embarrassing and very strange for the community to see this. And a lot of players still have genuine concern and frustrations that they were not able to enter an Alliance Quest today and, you know, when it first went live yesterday. I really hope Kabam addressed this and those individuals and how this happened and how certain players were highlighted and this affected them, where to some and others, I'm not including myself, I didn't have the problem, but for those that did, very odd. I think players are really worried about this. Next up, and let's delve into Dungeons. As we know, Dungeons is going to be making a return on the 20th of August and they're going to be there until the 3rd of September. So there's a good chunk of time to do Dungeons if you choose to. I still haven't decided whether or not I'm going to grind into them. My main protocol is to finish off some other content in the game and also play some other games at the time. You know, it's nice to chill out and play some other stuff. But I am focused to complete certain things and I would like to get Dungeons done. So let's delve into what has been changed, what's being altered and what to expect from this next run of Dungeons. Now I do encourage everybody to go to the link in the description and have a read for yourself, as I will, you know, do a little reading but also a little bit of paraphrasing with stuff. So to begin with, buffs and encounters. Kabam did see the way that it was handled between communication and also the way that buffs interact with certain champions that you're facing off against, and they've looked to improve that kind of dealing with them, which allows you to get plenty of smackdown on the enemy. Now on to the most important thing, and that is what has been changed since the last Dungeons to this Dungeons. The first thing being that dark artifacts are going to be a permanent currency within the game. As you know, the last time we did Dungeons, it was a big problem that we were spending too much time grinding out in Dungeons, and as a result we were just like, man, there's too much on at the moment. This was a bit too much. Lowering the effort stakes and what you get out of the milestones was really important, and Kabam addressing that was a really important thing back then, and hopefully they've refined it now, especially when we go into the second lot of Dungeons being released in the game. Kabam then elaborate on this point by saying that they do understand that when they put an event quest in last time, everything was delivered at the same time. So players were going, right, I want to do event quest. They're more inclined to complete the event quest first before going on to Dungeons. I mean, it's all right if you can work, if you don't have a full-time job or you're able to grind out the game a lot more, you got that flexibility. But for others that maybe have school, they have so many different things going on, work, you know, kids, there's lots of like things that would mean that you wouldn't have sufficient time. You can't sit down for an hour just to grind out. Some people may be able to only play the game for a short amount of time, and that would be it. So it was good to see a change to the way that it was dropped in, and as we know, it's dropped in on the 20th of August, which should then get you to that point we're going, right, we've had 20 odd days, or nearly 20 days to finish the event quest. Now let's move on to try and do Dungeons. I mean, we all know how to kind of get through Uncollected now. Use your Ronins. They're going to absolutely demolish the bosses. Kabam also going to say that Dungeons will return kind of sporadically. There's going to be some odd times that they'll come back and then go, and then come back and go, and it'll always be the last 2 weeks, which I think again is a good step for Kabam for release schedule, as we've just discussed. Kabam go on to then say when those dates are, and also a scheme of things that maybe it's not about the 1 day kind of circle for the dungeons, that it instead will be a 3-day cycle for the dungeons. So that could be cool, seeing what you can get from that, is increased milestones, blah blah blah. You know, we'll find out as we go on with the release of dungeons in the near future. One thing I feel that other players will want to ask that question and get the answer is, are there going to be connection problems this time? We will have to see on the 20th of August. I'm very skeptical. I will wait until the 20th of August comes about. I'll wait for the first one to go full cycle, and then on the second one, are we going to see any connection issues? I really hope not. There was speculation, rumor last time that the connection issues that we had when dungeons were put in were that was the cause, that dungeons were the cause, but ongoing. Will there be any improvements to the connection issues? I don't know. Like I said, hope for the best with this. Next up, and we have a bug with Heimdall, or we did have a bug with him, and that was where his synergy worked with Hela, and Hela was becoming so indestructible that she could not die. She literally could not die in any fight. This was noticed very early doors by the community. Some were like, hey, why did you bother to tell Kabam? Should have left it in there. And yeah, okay, two different argument points to that, but the main thing to say, there was a bug with the character's synergy. Kabam picked this up and said that they were working on a resolution to the issue. Next up, and a very interesting post. So, a long time ago, I did a video about the value of 4 stars and my own personal value when it comes to grinding out 3/4 star arenas, and the fact that sometimes the 4 stars at 550 end up kind of like saving the day when I'm grinding out in featured in like the 5-star and also the 6-star. Very odd concept to explain to you, but they do seem to kind of get me through and save the day going through those death matches, which still keeps my streak alive. And this particular post is no exception to that, and at the same time has its own kind of scheme and theme when they talk about the value of 4 stars and saying, well, with 5 stars in the game and 6 stars, are 4 stars kind of the 3 stars that we would have assumed before when, you know, 5 stars were about to be entered in? As in the value of them. Are they as valuable? Are they as helpful to grind out content? I myself use 4 stars in map 5, leaving all my more powerful champions in things like Alliance Wars, attack, defense, and also other content that I'm grinding out in the game. And so yeah, there are valuable 4 stars that do help you through, especially if you're waiting and you have a drought to get those 5 stars that are more difficult to get. This is more of a passion piece, and at the same time is a great debate. So if you want to get involved with the debate and also talk about your experience with 4 stars, if you have a load of 5 stars, then our 4 stars are valuable for you. Maybe you're new to the game and you're grinding out to get 4 stars and you're like, well, are they more valuable? Should I shoot to build and develop my 4 stars? My simple answer to that is yes. If you're new to the game or you're kind of grinding out through the game, you're improving your rating, then 4 stars can be really helpful for you, especially if you're looking for ones that are going to get you through a good chunk of Act 5. Now, there are going to be some that aren't going to be very good for Act 5, and there are going to be some that are able to admit lots of power. You know, you've got champions that are going to be like Stark Spidey, Archangel, Dr. Voodoo, and the list goes on. Quake, and to a lesser degree, champions like Nebula. Again, list goes on. Hyperion. Yeah, I could just throw champions' names up there. Blade, for until the cows come home. But if you've got the 4-star version and it's awakened, or you could awaken it, then that may be a better option for you. Likewise, for endgame players, I've known of people selling their entire 4-star rosters in order to kind of get more 5-star shards. I know it's completely ridiculous, but at the same time, it is being done somewhere at some sort of level in the game. But your thoughts on this? Go over to the debate and also have your say. Next up, and Stone the Crows, I cannot believe it. We have got a Summoner Appreciation event coming our way. Kind of a few months late, if you get my drift. I think a lot of players will agree with that. Some may not care too much, but there has been a big call for a long time for Summoner Appreciation. Every so often I see in the forum someone said, Summoner Appreciation, when's it going to come around again? We feel we deserve it for certain stuff going on in the game. I don't know how many were put out last year for Summoner Appreciation events, but it'd be quite interesting to see that against last year, against this year. What's the trend? Is it a case we had more last year or less? The date coincides with stuff that's going on with dungeons, not the entirety of dungeons, but a small chunk. So is it a value for Kabam to run this at the same time? It does mean that we'll probably be able to kind of get through a lot of more difficult dungeon levels by having this on. So if you're looking to get through more difficult content, then have at it during this time period and date period. It is going to mean that you'll be able to go through more difficult stuff, put some extra boosts on, kick butt in whatever content you're looking to grind. Maybe you want to do Labyrinth for Legends and you're like, hey, I've got a load of boosts. Wow, I can get some of this kind of like generic global boost that's going to make this really darn easier for me. Then hey, have at it as well. Halls of Healing make a very triumphant return, and it is good to see that back. You can stockpile, you can end up like helping yourself out. It means that maybe glory spend is going to reduce down, which is great because you'll be able to use it for other stuff in the glory store rather than going, hey, well, I'm going to spend it on Alliance Wars. Well, not this time. This time you get to have all that lovely stuff to yourself. There's also no cost for Alliance questing, which is fantastic. A lot of players and people may opt to kind of grind out stuff in map 6 if they're kind of going, hey, it's a bit too expensive for map 6 for our Alliance. Well, this may be a perfect time to do it whilst there's no spend. And also it probably means that treasuries are going to stay the same and people may not have to donate, which is great because you'll be able to keep that lovely resource all for yourself. We also see reduced energy spend for Act 4. Great. And it propels you, as Kabam says, towards getting towards uncollected if you can then go through Act 5 and do 5.1 and 5.2 to get uncollected. The next thing is that it's good to see is something quite unique. A Summoner Appreciation Gift. This is something you get to choose what you want, whether or not you're an arena grinder, you like your Alliance Wars, you like so many other questing things in the game, you have got a gift that you get to choose as a player. Cool, that's great. There's also a standard thing that comes with each package, and that is 1,000 5-star shards. Some units, whatever units those are, would be nice if it's 1,000, but it won't be. Some units and some other stuff as well. Final thing to say on the subject is that it is good to see a Summoner Appreciation Week, but at the same time some players may feel differently about the intention for this. Is it at the wrong time? Is it at the right time? Is this coming in well and coinciding with the holiday period? Is it not? Your thoughts on this in the comment section. And this then brings me swiftly over to this particular poll here, which talks about the issues and also talks about Summoner Appreciation Week being compensation for said issues. So as we know, we've had a lot of issues over the last month in different shapes and forms, from not being able to get into the game, logging out issues, emergency maintenance. Last month we had the overheating issue. And I think players did kind of say to themselves, well, have we received compensation for this? And the answer was resounding no. This poll gives you a good example where players have said resoundingly that they are not happy with Summoner Appreciation being a representation of compensation for the experience over the last month. I did think that we wouldn't hear anything back and will not hear anything back about compensation. I will be surprised if we hear anything back about the overheating issue, but we'll see how that goes. And finally, we've got this motion comic here. So Korg, as we know, that's voiced by Taika Waititi. Hopefully that's right. I just think of Titty every time I see it written. Any case, whatever. Korg is being voiced in this little motion comic. It's an okay delivery, and I know that sounds like it's a bit me being a bit critical about this, but I like when Kabam do this. It's good to see Valkyrie in. I don't know if there's a hint that Valkyrie could come into the game at a later date. That again would be quite cool. But the main thing to really say is that I feel that when, as we know, he did a fantastic job with Korg in Thor Ragnarok, he was doing a lot of motion capture. So a lot of the kind of voice capture was him kind of emoting and kind of reacting in scenes. It wasn't the case he was reading off a script like, hi, I'm Korg. I'm leader of a revolution. That really feels what this is. It doesn't feel like it's kind of acted. It feels like it's just written. Hi, I've printed enough pamphlets for the revolution, and something's happening. And there's Valkyrie, she's the evil woman. And then there's a guy with 3 heads, looks a bit like Drex. And there's some other guy, I don't know. And we've got 7 people. This is Meek. Meek's getting over some problem because I stepped on him the other week. Just like that. I don't know if that would like. I don't know if it's because anyway, whatever. I'm not going too much into it. I just found that the delivery was a little bit off for my liking. But again, me being overly critical, you might absolutely love it. Please go and have a watch of the video and enjoy it for yourself. So that's been your Marvel Contest of Champions news for the 17th of August 2018. It is now approaching 9:30, and I really want to get this video out to you on this Friday, because then if it goes out on Saturday, then it's not Friday. I mean, it's Friday in some countries. Actually, it's going to be Saturday in other countries. Either way, hopefully whenever you see this video and this news, it does fill your heart with joy. I don't know, I'm just trying to fill up some time with stuff like that. Any case, thanks very much for watching. I've been RichTheMan. Make sure to hit the subscribe button, bell notifications on, so you see my videos when they ping up. Hit the like button and subscribe for more. I am really tired. It's been a long week and I've been trying to get loads more videos and content recorded because I've got a busy weekend, so I can't be pushing out fresh videos, so scheduled videos it is. Hopefully you enjoy them, and we've got a crystal opening as well. Got through it. Thanks again for watching. I shall catch you on the flip side. Bye bye for now.